Today we have your May 2020 Las Vegas real estate market update, shooting today from the Las Vegas Strip.
Hey, I'm Steve.
And I'm Kristen.
We are the Thomas Group with Love Local Real Estate, your local Las Vegas and Henderson realtors, here today bringing you your May 2020 Las Vegas real estate market update from the Las Vegas Strip and the beautiful Venetian, as you can see behind us. And tell you what, guys, it is really pretty strange.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal.
Being down the strip and there's nobody around. What a difference people make. That's all I can say. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So before we get into the numbers and tell you about the market update in Vegas and how everything's been going on, just a little heads up about what we're going to talk about in today's video here. Mortgage forbearance. If you're struggling to make payments, or you know someone that's struggling to make payments, we're going to try and clear up some of the misnomers that I've been seeing and hearing in the media. I feel like there's still a lot of confusion and people are unnecessarily missing payments and stuff and getting dinged on their credit when they don't need to be doing that. So we'll try and clear a little bit of that up as well. We're also going to be talking about Las Vegas Strip itself and what happens with the casinos when they reopen back up, and if you think anybody is actually even going to come and visit us. And the third thing we'd like to talk about is something that I find very interesting, and I heard the chief economist from the National Association of Realtors speaking about it, and it's inflation. First of all, let's look at the numbers for April.
We're absolutely 100% seeing the effect of the coronavirus on the real estate market. This past month, which like Steve said, it's the April numbers. This was our first full month with businesses shut down, people being laid off or furloughed, and we're seeing the effect, which, was to be expected. That's absolutely normal. To start off, our median sales price for single family homes last month was $310,000. Now, that's a decrease from the previous month of 2.8%, and actually an increase from the same time last year of 3.3%.
So we're still slightly above where we were this time last year.
We're above where we were last year, but we are seeing a dip, which I think, as we realize that things are going to be shut down for longer than maybe we first anticipated, that a dip is going to be natural. Yeah. So we're seeing that happen right now. Now, units sold, like we hinted at last month, the pending sales were down last month. Units sold, definitely down. So there were 1,971 single family homes sold. That's down 28.5% from last month and down 31.4% from last year.
Yeah, just shows you how many buyers were in the market that now aren't.
Yeah, exactly. And we were having such a strong start to the year. Our sales were really, really strong before this, so...
A lot of demand, low inventory.
Right, exactly. Again, we're still kind of thinking, being optimistic and hoping that when this is all over, people are going to be getting right back into it. And we're kind of already starting to see that, aren't we, Steve?
Yeah, we are. Some of our clients, buyers that we're working with right now that were putting it on ice, let's just say, for a month, last month. And now they're realizing that, there isn't going to be a vaccine created anytime soon. And one of the main factors that's going to play into this is employment, right? A lot of people have been getting the stimulus checks. Some people that have been getting unemployment, like our friends, have actually been making more money on unemployment than they have in their regular job. Right.
I did want to touch on that because I was actually just yesterday speaking to a client about this, because he was saying, I'm making more on unemployment. Can I qualify for a loan? I'm making more, shouldn't that be? No, if you're on unemployment, unfortunately, you cannot qualify for a loan because you're unemployed. And, we don't know how long you might have a job to go back to, and unfortunately, you might not. So lenders can't lend to you right now, even though you might be making more. Kind of going along with units sold and demand, I wanted to touch on, we as realtors, we have this thing called showing time, and it's a system that we use to request showings, usually on owner-occupied homes, but sometimes on vacant homes as well. And this is really cool. They've released some data, the number of showing requests. And what we've seen, and I think I like this because it kind of vibes with what we've personally been seeing as far as demand with our own clients and other agents that we've been talking to. When the coronavirus hit, the showings went way down. And now they're starting to creep back up. So they're doing it every week by week. And after 4 weeks, we can definitely see a trend, and we are getting back up. And right now, showings are back up to where they were in January. So just something to keep in mind. Again, not everybody is able to buy right now, but the people that are still employed I think the initial shock's worn off a bit.
I think just so much uncertainty. People just really didn't know what's going to happen. And people, we still don't right?
Know.
No one can predict the future.
Another thing that I want to talk about is pending sales, which is something that we looked at last month. So this month's pending sales were also down 30% from the same time last year. Now that's what we saw last month. So again, an average escrow is 30 days. So we're going to expect our number of closings, we're doing the same market update next month, to be down about 30% from the same time last year again. Inventory, there were 6,043 single family homes available for sale. And this is up 6.3% from last month, which, I think we can expect because, demand's down a touch, maybe some escrows fell out, and it's down 18.7% from the same time last year. So we have less homes available for sale than the same time last year, and that's to be expected because new listings are down quite significantly, 40%. New listings are down 40% from last year. Now, we've had a lot of clients waiting, right?
Yeah, a lot of clients. I have a client that has an autoimmune condition. She wants to sell. She's moving, back up to the northwest, but doesn't want to sell, doesn't want anybody through the house. There's going to be many people like that. Mm-hmm. There's lots of people like Howie Mandel that are completely freaked out by any sort of disease and filth or anything. So yeah, they're not going to allow anybody in the house. I mean, the numbers just reflect that.
Absolutely. And then our last number for single family homes is our month of inventory. So that crept up from the last month and last year. Months of inventory is at 3.1. Now, when we were chatting about the numbers, we were saying, okay, well, how is inventory creeping up? Or how are months of inventory creeping up when inventory is down? That's because demand is down. And months of inventory is a reflection of the number of homes available on the market divided by the number of people buying. So that's a little insight into.
And if you're wondering what months of inventory actually is, I know we talk about this all the time, but we've got lots of people new subscribing to our channel. Thank you, everybody. But months of inventory, generally, if we're looking at a balanced market that neither favors the buyer or the seller, we're looking at 6 months. Let's keep an eye on that. This is a good thing, I think, right now. I also think that the lack of inventory is what might have and hopefully might keep the Las Vegas market strong.
And I think something too interesting to keep in mind is we're still seeing affordable entry-level homes go pretty quickly, aren't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's more the higher priced homes that are staying on the market longer. A lot of jumbo loan programs are paused.
Hard to
you've had multiple offers, right, on the entry-level homes.
Oh yeah, we've been in multiple situations where we've had multiple offers on a property, 250, 260,000, under 350,000. If it's priced right, it's not a dive. Right. It looks nice. There's multiple offers on it. There are still a lot of buyers out there, but obviously the buyer pool has shrunk. Right. By 30%?
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys are thinking of selling or buying, really every case is individual. So we offer free consultations. You can visit thethomasgrouplv.com, and we love to talk to you. We are authentic. We never try and persuade you to make a sale. We really look at what's right for you.
We are the least high pressure people you've ever met.
So let's get into the condo and townhome numbers, which are pretty much a reflection of the single family home numbers as well. So the median sales price was $180,250. Now that is down 2.8% from last month, but up 6% from last year. So units sold, there were 440 condos and townhomes sold. That's down 38.4% from last month and down 41.6% from last year. So again, we're seeing about a 30 to 40% drop in demand. And the pending numbers show the same thing. We can expect to see that next month as well. For the new listings as well, new listings, again, down a lot. We're seeing that the same as single family homes. And available condo and townhomes last month, there were 1,772. That is up 8.8% from last month and down 3% from last year. So we're not quite seeing the decrease in availability of condos and townhomes that we are for single family. Here's something interesting. The months of availability for condos and townhomes is actually higher Now by a whole month, it is up to 4 months of inventory. So that is what the numbers have to show. Now let's get into some other data points and things that have been going on in the market that we can talk about.
Well, let's talk about mortgage forbearance.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there that are struggling to make their payments. Mortgage forbearance, what is now happening from the Federal Housing Association and the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae insured loans is they are now allowing you 6 months of forbearance to start with. Okay, now at 6 months, they are not demanding the full 6 months of payment be paid at that time. Initially, as you can probably remember, they were. And I thought, and I said to Kristen, this is going to cause a huge mess because, let's be realistic, a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
They don't have 6 months of mortgage payments saved up or 3 months. So that would cause a big domino effect, right? Through
foreclosure, short sales,
everything, through the whole economy. Could have been a huge mess. But fortunately, they've seen sense. So they've now created this 6 months. So if you need it, call your mortgage provider. And if you can't, you still need more time after 6 months, that can go to 12 months. They can extend it to 12 months. And then your whole payments that you've missed get tacked on to the end of the loan. Hopefully by then we've got a vaccine. The vaccine has allowed, businesses to reopen, people to start flying and traveling, and slowly but surely everything starts taking over.
And I was going to say one more thing about that, Steve, that it's a great program and option to have if you need it. Now, there's people that don't need the forbearance, but have maybe taken it, but they were planning on moving in the foreseeable future. Now, just know right now with the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, it's not going to hurt your credit when you take this mortgage forbearance, but it will not allow you to get a loan at least within the next 12 months, because when the lenders are looking at your profile, they can see that obviously you took a mortgage forbearance, and quite honestly, that puts you at higher risk of defaulting in the future. So, maybe if you were just taking it to be like, hey, this is great, I'm just going to take a little break and save up some money, maybe to move next year, just so you know, keep that in mind as you move forward.
So now where I've seen this actually hitting some sellers is some sellers have been deciding, well, we're going to sell. Let's take the mortgage forbearance now so that, we don't have to worry about our mortgage payment for the next couple of months. And we'll sell our house, buy a new one. But then what's happening is they're stumbling when they're going to buy the new property because the lender is now looking at the fact that they've taken a forbearance on their home and it's a no-go.
Right.
So don't make that mistake.
Right. Now, another thing we wanted to talk about being here on this empty strip is the casino's plans to reopen back up. And what do you guys think? Are you going to have, friends and family visiting you coming up? So, Steve, you did a little bit of research on how they're going to make this safe and what we can expect.
Well, I heard all of the casinos are going to start doing temperature control on you. So as soon as you enter, they're checking your temperature. I believe if it's over 104 degrees, they're going to put you into a secondary. Yeah, but it gets pretty hot out here too.
That's a good point.
So they put you into a secondary inspection. From there, they evaluate whether you can enter the premises or you can't. So don't be surprised to be seeing that, at all the entrances. Some casinos as well are making it mandatory to wear face masks. Some are not. The ones that are making it mandatory to wear the face masks, they're going to be providing them to you as you enter the casino. The dealers, they're all going to be wearing face masks. The chips are going to be thoroughly cleaned and disinfected every 2 hours.
That's good.
We're going to see slot machines that, have got social distancing spacing between them. They're not going to be as they were. So, this is going to have a huge, effect on how people enjoy Vegas. And many of you might not know, but my beautiful wife is actually a professional dancer. She's been in many shows here on the Strip. They believe that the people I've been talking to say that the shows are going to be the very last thing that will reopen because, how do you socially distance people in a stadium, essentially, in a theatre, unless you've got big gaps between everybody, but then that's logistically got to be really difficult to manage in the booking system. Probably that's not going to happen. As we mentioned before, I think all of this slow integration of employment back into the workplace is hopefully only going to help things. Like we said, how many people are going to actually come here, do you think? Let us know in the comments. If people don't start coming to visit, jobs are still going to be lost. right? Now, how long can the government support everybody with stimulus packages that have lost their jobs so that they're not in a real sticky position? That leads me nicely into the chief economist of the National Association of Realtors. He was talking about how this stimulus package and this money could have a knock-on effect, or will have a knock-on effect down the road. And I'm not a very smart guy, so this took me a little bit of research in order to be able to figure this out. But basically, in the great country of America, we have the ability to be able to print our own money, and the US dollar is very, very strong. These are the things that he was saying. People buy the US dollar, so they have to support everybody. There's now an extra amount of money in the marketplace. Because this extra amount of money in the marketplace then essentially starts increasing the price of everything else, price of bread, price of a gallon of milk, fuel at the gas pump, mortgage interest rates, I mean, everything tends to go up. For those of you that were around in the 70s, that you'll be familiar with inflation and what happened in terms of inflation. But for investors, and this is a really key thing to think about here, you guys, in times of inflation, or when investors predict inflation is going to happen and be prevalent, they buy gold, because gold is a hedge against inflation. But the other thing that they buy is real estate. Because Las Vegas itself has a lack of inventory, unless this shoots up greatly, I think a lot of these properties that might start coming on the market might start getting swiped up and turned into rental properties. This is just my opinion. This is just I can't see the future, you guys. I don't know. We hope you enjoyed this month's market update live from the Las Vegas Strip. If you have any questions about the Las Vegas market, if you're thinking about moving into town, thinking about selling, then by all means, please let us know, and we would love to help you in any way possible. Once again, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button, and that way you can stay up to date on everything that's happening in Vegas. We do community tours as well as fun things that Kristen and I do here in town. So if you want to follow along with that, you're absolutely awesome if you do. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. It makes us smile. So other than that, we hope you're having a great day and you're staying well and healthy out there, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.